George, I can't believe we're here in this wonderful place with your marvellous furniture being looked down upon by the famous Lord Hyde, I hope giving us his approval. I mean, it's just such an experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you. And particularly exciting when I think that how we met all those years back on Metro North. It's just amazing that we're here. Do you remember?
Oh, how can I forget? Yes, I was reading a book on Dutch paintings. You started talking to me and I noticed you were doing something with paperwork and I thought you were a school teacher. And we started up a conversation and I told you I lived in Staten Island. And I was up for the weekend because I was antiquing. And,
That's right.
And I told you I lived in Staten Island and I was an art collector. And right away you said, "Are you George Way?" And I was like surprised. And you said you remember reading about me in the New York Times many years ago.
Well, I remember because I read the newspaper article about an American who lives in Staten Island surrounding himself with pieces of English furniture, and I never thought I would meet you. It was an amazing coincidence.
Oh, thank you.
But George, I never asked you on the train that day, how did you really get interested in 17th and 16th century furniture? What was it about the style, the aesthetic that really intrigued you, and the paintings too?
It was the different styles. There were so many different styles. The carving, the beautiful patina, the age of these pieces, how they survived, and just to feel them. I mean, and live with them every day is wonderful. You know, I don't know. I think I picked a period that it seemed to be stronger. It would withstand, you know, years of use, other than something really delicate like a Queen Anne chair. You know, but. And the mere fact that it's much, much older and that it survived, and you know, how did it come here? Did it come over 300 years ago? How did all this English furniture come to America is amazing. I'll never know. But
that is it. That's the history, isn't it? It's so intriguing.
Exactly.
So better than studying cabriolets and Chippendale.
Oh, exactly, exactly. I like the cabriolet, don't get me wrong, I love the elegant furniture, but something about this period that tells me, it reminds me of castles and manor houses in England, and the mere fact that they came all the way to America. I'm still around all these years.
True. Look at this.
I prefer this to any period. You know, it's more of a challenge, but every weekend I go out there, there's always something to be found. You know, but you really got to know.
You said that you used to visit the Metropolitan Museum when you were young, and I think that was very daring because a lot of people can be intimidated by museums when they're young. How easy was it for you to explore the pieces of furniture? Because usually you can't touch museum pieces as I am doing with this.
Well, then it was easier. You know, we're going back 37, 40 years ago, whatever, and I was younger then, of course, much younger, and I used to live in the Pilgrim Room. I was the first one up there. There was nobody around, and I really had free reign of the whole exhibit. And I used to crawl under furniture and really get close. And after a while, the guards got to know me, really friendly. And the guards used to help me turn things upside down. And I learned construction, types of woods that we use in American furniture. But after doing some reading, you know, a few months later or whatever, these American pieces were really copies of the English pieces.
Yes.
So I started on a journey hunting down period English furniture. And then I started searching all the shops in New York City on Bleecker and Christopher Street, and found a lot of pieces that were labeled Victorian. In fact, they were period. So it was a really benefit to me. Oh, I would have a ball. And a lot of things were, you know, labeled 19th century, when in fact they were period. So many times people would see me coming home on the ferry with a chair or a Bible box or a painting under my arm, knowing, you know, I was out hunting again. So that's how I really became known, you know, as a collector in Staten Island, really.
So you became known as the Oak Man.
Of Greenwich Village, yes. You know.
Yeah, well, talking about journeys, how did you manage when you were on the Staten Island ferry and you were known as the Oak Man, quite distinguished? And what happens? You take these pieces, but do people come and say, well, what's this and what's this? Or do they ask
do.
your
Well,
advice?
people know me by now. After 37 years, they always see me carrying a chair or a painting. But I like it because I get a chance to educate people. They'll come up to me and say, wow, what a beautiful piece of furniture. And I play the guessing game with people I don't know. And I say, well, can you tell me how old it is? And they try dating it and they go, 1890? I say, no, a little bit older. Yeah, really? 1850? No, a little bit older? No. And when they go back to the 1600s, they're like, they can't understand. Is it really that old? And I try to explain to them how it, you know, the construction, the wear, the age, and they're like blown away. And people who know me now know if I'm carrying something in a bag or under my arm, it's got to be something really important.
But what happens when you meet the dealers and they don't know about a piece? Do you explain it to them? Do you give the secrets away?
No,
you
no,
don't.
that's not my job.
No,
Unless it's a friend of
know.
mine, it's something I'm not interested in, okay. But when I buy something from a dealer, I want it to be all original, you know, so I'm not going to educate them. I want to try to get a bargain. And you don't show that much excitement when you're buying something.
No, you play it
You know,
cool.
once you do, the price goes up, you know, but you want to try to get it for a bargain like I have.
That's true.
But many times if there's something in the store that's Queen Anne or Chippendale or Hepplewhite that is period and they don't know, that I will tell them that because I'm not interested in buying it. And that would help me get something I really want cheaper as well because I help them out and they're going to help me out. But no, I don't educate dealers, you know. I don't think anybody who's a real collector would. But, you know, I keep going back and, you know, you build up a friendship with these dealers and, you know, if they get something, they'll call you. I have something I think it might be for you. And if it's been conditioned, you know it's going to end up in the George Waite collection. I mean, I'm very lucky that I was able to do this exhibit where other people can learn from it, you know, and it's drawn a lot of attraction.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
George, this has been the most wonderful collection for the public to see. You've shared your treasures with us. I know that it's been overwhelming. How do you see the collection in the future? What's your role as a collector?
Well, I kind of stopped collecting a little bit because of the exhibit, but my dream is really now is to focus on having a museum so I could really share it with the public, you know, and that's my dream.
Well, you have lots of dreams and you're wonderful at sharing your treasures with the public. So
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you, George. It's been wonderful.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.